21 Lessons for the 21st Century, a book that will make you see the world through completely different eyes. Introduction. If someone were to ask you, what is the scariest thing of the 21st century? War, economic crisis, climate change, or artificial intelligence? I used to think humans today are smarter than ever before. We have the internet, we have smartphones, we have AI, we can chat with anyone in the world in just a few seconds. But then I read the book 21 Lessons for the 21st Century by Yuval Noah Harari. And what surprised me most was, never before in history, humans have had so much information. But never before, it has been so difficult to distinguish between truth and falsehood. This is not a book that teaches you how to make money. This isn't a book about the past. It's a mirror, forcing us to look directly at the present and ask ourselves, are we truly ready for the future? Chapter 1. The world is changing faster than we think. Look around. Every year, a new technology emerges. A profession disappears. A job once considered stable may become obsolete in just a few years. Harari isn't saying that technology is the enemy. He's just reminding us of one thing. The speed of change in the world has far outpaced the speed at which many people adapt. And the biggest question is no longer, what do you know? But, are you still learning something new? Chapter 2. AI is not just replacing jobs. When we hear about artificial intelligence, most of us think of robots, machines, automated production lines. But Harari looks deeper. He argues that AI is not just replacing manual labor, it can also change jobs that were once thought to be only done by humans. Analysis, decision-making, even innovation in some fields. That doesn't mean humans will become useless, but it forces us to learn how to work with technology instead of fighting against it. Chapter 3. The most dangerous enemy is fake information. In the past, to control a country, you needed an army. Today, sometimes you just need to control the flow of information. Harari warns that information isn't always knowledge. An article shared millions of times isn't necessarily true. A video believed by many isn't necessarily a reflection of reality. In the digital age, knowing how to verify information is a vital survival skill. Chapter 4. Algorithms are understood more than themselves. There's a question that made me pause. If an algorithm knew what you liked, what you hated, what you wanted to buy, what you wanted to watch, even predicted your next decision, who was in control? Harari didn't claim that it would definitely happen, but he reminded us that every click, every search, every piece of information we leave on the internet creates a digital portrait, and that portrait is becoming increasingly detailed. Chapter 5. Nation, Religion, and the Stories that Connect People. One of Harari's most interesting ideas is, humans have the ability to cooperate with millions of strangers, not just through laws, but also through shared stories. Nations, currency, businesses, beliefs. These are all systems that help people coordinate on a very large scale. The important thing is not to deny them, but to understand why they are powerful. Because when you understand how stories work, you'll understand how society works. Chapter 6. The Education of the Future. If you ask, what is the most important skill in the 21st century? Harari doesn't answer with programming. He doesn't answer with foreign languages. He emphasized the ability to adapt, knowing how to learn, knowing how to change, knowing how to ask questions. Because in a constantly changing world, today's knowledge may be outdated tomorrow. But the ability to learn will always be an advantage. Chapter 7. Happiness doesn't come from technology. We have better phones, faster internet, smarter cars. But are we happier? Harari doesn't give a simple answer. He only reminds us that technological progress doesn't automatically create a meaningful life. It still depends on how each person lives, how we treat each other, and the values we choose. Chapter 8. The Greatest Lesson. As I read the final chapters, I realized this book doesn't attempt to predict the future. It prepares us to face the future. No one knows exactly what will happen in 10 or 20 years. But one thing is almost certain. The world will continue to change. And only those who never stop learning will be able to keep up. The end. An inspirational message. When I closed the book, I didn't feel afraid. I felt clear-headed. Yuval Noah Harari didn't write this book to make us anxious about the future. He wrote it to remind us that The future isn't something waiting for us ahead. It's being created by the decisions we make every day. If you only remember one thing from this book today, then remember this. In the 21st century, the most valuable asset is not money. It is the ability to learn, adapt, and think independently. You may not be able to control the development of AI. You cannot stop the world from changing. You cannot predict every crisis, but you always have a choice. The choice to continue learning, to continue asking questions, to continue honing your ability to think instead of just reacting. Because in a world where everything changes at breakneck speed, the strongest person is not the one who knows the most, nor the one who is the richest, but the one who constantly reinvents themselves. And who knows, 20 years from now, when you look back at this moment, you will realize what helped you overcome all the changes of the 21st century. It wasn't luck, it wasn't wealth, but a very simple decision. The decision never to stop learning. Because ultimately, the world will always change, but it is how you change with the world that determines your future. Please subscribe to the channel to listen to great books every day. Thank you.